In this episode, we asked the question, if I could change one thing about Project Blue Fairmont, what would it be? Welcome to the channel. I'm Grant Tommy. This is Straight Six Van, your home for offbeat hot rodding, and well, would love to be firing this thing up, would love to be driving this thing, going somewhere, visiting somebody, but unfortunately Project Blue Fairmont is down right now. We're battling some carburetor issues, and I think I have it diagnosed down to a faulty power valve, a bad power valve, maybe one not sized correctly, as for why I was constantly running rich. So, with that being the case, I want to take a little bit of a different approach to this episode. And we're going to go through the 5 things, if I could change one thing on Project Blue Fairmont, what I would do. And we're going to kind of rank these from descending order of most plausible to least plausible. Alright, number 1 was something that I actually wanted to do as part of the build overall. Of course, we know with my GT40P head swap, I was trying to solve one of the issues with a 1978 motor, and that is low compression. But the other issue that this era of motor suffers from, of course, is the crappy camshaft spec. I'm going to leave down here below what the Chilton's manual says is in as far as a grind for a stock camshaft. But what I really wished I would have been able to afford, fit in the budget, would have been 1.7 ratio rocker arms. That would have at the very least helped improve the lift and the duration a little bit on this crappy camshaft, and of course it's something you wouldn't see, so super sleeper mode. Wished I could have got 1.7 ratio rockers. Okay, so number 2, I guess really should have been number 4 if we're going in descending order. What I'm looking at is, okay, having never done any of this before, what do I think my skill set could have supported if I was going to change one thing? And yes, I really think I could have pulled off 1.7 ratio rocker arms, but number 4, number 2, however you want to look at it, would have been intake manifold. Something I for sure definitely could have done. I knew that would never had fit in the budget, but I think if you played your cards right, you could have got a much higher flowing intake manifold, and we still could have, like, you know, ground off whatever the aftermarket logo was or whatever, and painted it blue to match the rest of the motor. And you know, unless you really knew what you were looking for, I don't think people would quite notice that we'd have an aftermarket intake manifold on this car. But definitely something that, especially with when I did the head swap, I mean, the manifold was off anyway, so that would have been super easy. But yeah, that no way was ever going to fit into the budget, and that sort of leads me into my next one, number 3. Well, now number 3 is number 3 whether we're doing ascending or descending order, so it doesn't matter. But the third most likely modification that I feel like I could have done, but just probably wasn't in the budget, and would have been electronic fuel injection. With all the carburetor issues I've been dealing with, there is something to be said about the peace of mind, especially like knowing that Holley has, you know, their EFI system. Of course, the Sniper is the big name there. They do make a 2-barrel version. I still think it would have been cool. I know I have the most hated 2-barrel carbureted motor on the internet. I would have kept with the 2-barrel Holley version, again, to keep that stock era specific time look right, but it would have been a really nice little sleeper function. However, I've always said, if that was really what I was going to do, if I really wanted fuel injection, and why I definitely have not done it to date, was at that point, if I really wanted GT40P heads and electronic fuel injection, I would have been better off just plucking a motor out of a junkyard Ford Explorer at that point. So definitely would not be, in my opinion, not a good investment. It would not be a good return on investment. What those kits cost for what that would be, again, would have been better finding either a roller motor out of a Mustang or like a 98 plus Ford Explorer. Alright, so number 4. or, well, this should have been number 2, a camshaft. I wish I would not be super intimidated to have wanted to swap out a camshaft. In fact, you know, put a new water pump on this, I had the radiator out, that would have been a good time to do a camshaft, but gotta be honest, super intimidated here that I probably would have screwed something up on a camshaft, so that was, again, never in the original recipe, but again, this episode's sort of dreaming about if I could change one thing, how cool would this car be? And I think, you know, a gnarly camshaft in this definitely take it to the next level in terms of sleeper status. And yeah, I think you would definitely catch some people off guard in this car with a wicked camshaft. And the final thing that I like to dream about, if I could change one thing on Project Blue Fairmont to make it so much cooler, and skill set aside, but most likely to be super intimidated by this, would be a T5 swap. This thing at 70 miles an hour with the 327 gears and the C4 transmission, well, it's kind of screaming. So it'd be totally nice to have an overdrive. So at the very least, I mean, an AOD would be cool in here, but a T5 would be super sweet. Change nothing about the car, but a 5-speed manual, and I bet you this is super, super fun to drive. And I bet you our 0 to 60 time comes down a little bit as well. I just think this would be an all-around really, really fun car to drive with a 5-speed manual in it. So I guess that's my number 5, which is really my number 1, because I should have counted from 5 up to 1. But anyway, doesn't matter. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Just wanted to take a little different spin. I was supposed to do this episode quite a while ago. If you remember when the old hot water heater fiasco happened, that's what I was coming out to film, and that's been at least a month ago. I don't know, but either way, what I'm going to do is throw you over some other Fairmont content over here. So if you want to check out more about my build, go ahead and click on one of those videos. Otherwise, like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't care which one you do. It really helps the channel out. Just want to say to all my 6 fans out there, thanks for watching.